Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that, man. Let's go ahead. You know what? We'll address Hillary Crowder first. Let me see here. I know why she did that probably, because I roasted her yesterday. Let me find my reply for you guys. She blocked me too. What a loser. So she goes, the most alpha thing, because this is her response to Matt Walsh's 15-minute monologue on monogamy or whatever. And she goes, the most alpha thing a man could do is marry and be faithful to a good woman for the entirety of his life and be willing to storm the gates of hell to stay married to her. And I go, dude, you tried to destroy your ex-husband's life thanks to marriage. The audacity to post this is baffling. Zero awareness. Cooked. Right? And then let's see. Did she respond to this? Or, oh, she blocked me. Of course. She writes this stupid tweet talking and then doesn't even give me the chance to respond. Let's see here. Here we go. Delusional take, Amru. Texas divorce laws are zero alimony and child support is laughable. Look it up. Don't use what you think you know about my life to discourage men from living lives of moral integrity. Bro, and they blocked me, so I can't even respond to her. Look at this. Of course, some other thing. So how about this, Hillary Crowder? Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So you divorce your husband, Steven Crowder. You release a doctored video from Ring Cam where you purposely remove parts of the interaction, a private argument that you and your husband had at your residence. You go ahead and not only do you get that footage, you doctor it to put out a certain narrative to make him look worse. You publicly sue him. You drag his name through the mud. You collaborate with his opposition from the Daily Wire. You give them a bunch of information. You also get with other journalists to destroy your ex-husband's legacy. So let's assume that the alimony and the child support is laughable, like you say. You're still a dirty for doing that to your ex-husband. You tried to destroy his life. So outside of the divorce, right? We don't even have to use the divorce. I could just see what you did publicly to him that makes you a piece of shit. So don't sit here and try to deflect and be like, well, actually, this is a delusional take because the Texas divorce laws, you don't even get that much. That's not the point, you dumb. It's not the point. You're supposed to be a Christian trad wife to a big name, right-wing political commentator. If you really loved him and you really weren't a piece of shit, what you would have done was you would have divorced him silently. You would have left his image intact, not collaborated with his enemies, not give information to the press, not give a doctored Ring video to make him look even worse, because I looked at that video and you purposely took parts out of it because I could see the time on the top right because you're stupid, and you would have been able to have some semblance of dignity. But the reason why everyone's on you is because you're a traitor. That's why nobody's with you. And again, what makes it worse is you cosplay as a traditional Christian woman, but you went ahead and regressed to utilizing feminist, leftist tactics of information warfare in an attempt to extort money from your ex-husband while simultaneously destroying his reputation. And then you got the gall to sit there and tell me, when I tell guys that marriage probably isn't a good deal for you because even women that claim to be trad cons can fuel up, you should shut the fuck up on this topic for the rest of your life. Embarrassing. The fact that you're still on Twitter talking, using his last name, by the way, is a disgrace. You are a disgrace. Terrible women at least show they're terrible women. You cosplay as a God-fearing woman. Meanwhile, you're lying, trying to destroy your husband's life. The fact that you put out that Ring camera and it was edited and you put it in a certain way to make him look evil in an effort to destroy his reputation while siphoning off as much money as you can, you're a scumbag. And you are precisely what's wrong with the marriage institution in the United States of America. And I will continue to use your stupid as an example of why men should never get married, especially to like you that cosplay as religious, God-fearing women. The only thing you fear is your reputation being destroyed. And guess who's here to do that? You stupid you. Because I was there in Texas when you were going ahead to try to do this bullshit to him in Dallas. Tried to ruin this guy's life. Everything he worked for, destroyed off some jealous, angry, bitter like you. You're a embarrassment, man. At least OnlyFans girls own that they're OnlyFans girls. People like you are far more nefarious because you cosplay as a good woman when you're really it takes a certain type of individual to sit there and edit video, put it out to reporters, and then you worked with the people that were trying to destroy him. You went ahead and lined up with the Israeli Wire. You collaborated with them to try to take him down. You piece of get the out of here, man. You should never, ever talk about marriage. You should be used as an example of why guys should never get married. And I'll continue to use your as an example. Anytime someone tells me go get a trad wife, like you sit there and you still got the gall to use his last name. Get the fuck out of here, man. There's a reason why you're stupid because you air fry your all over Twitter. Bro. Dude, incredible. Incredible this. Anyway, getting back to it. Nick went off on Hillary Crowder on his show last night. She's a clip. Probably, let me guess, did he call her a bitch like I did? Your tweet about the WNBA broke the internet. I was watching a sport commentator on YouTube with over 1 million subs, and you used your tweet back of the facts of why a pay just raise increase makes sense. Yeah, I got like 20 million views on that, man. So Roche says, nope, got that one. Tyson Horton says, yo, Myron, I've been working a new job that took me from 27K per year to 62K per year. And today I talked to my boss about a different position. After the seasonal position, he agreed to it. And that's when it will start to make 90K per year. Congratulations, bro. Typical 60-minute Australia trying to do a low IQ piece on coming up soon. They're trying to say how dangerous he is or his ideas, but yet crime has skyrocketed as much now. Not the big Australia. Yeah, bro. These mainstream media outlets are desperate, bro. Nobody's watching them anymore. All right. Well, the beginning. Yeah, bro. That's infuriating. I can't believe a woman like that literally has the nerve to say anything about marriage, bro. How embarrassing. All right. Let me see here. All right. So we're going to cover some other topics that I wanted to do before we get into Matt Walsh. So check this out. Yeah, and she's over here agreeing with Matt Walsh, who comes from the Daily Wire, who tried to destroy Steven Crowder. Oh my God. All right. Actually, you know what? Here, let's look at the Nick clip real quick, because you guys really want me to look at that, right? Let's see what Nick thinks about this situation. Let me chat.
And this speaks to maybe the essence of the problem there.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now that you say it, guys, he did my comment. It probably was, oh yeah, because when I was roasting her. Okay, let's see what he's got to say though. Let me go back to this. Where the hell did it go? Yeah, because I put about him and then, yeah, she liked it. All right. Let me just...
Really triggered me. And this speaks to maybe but something I saw during the debate really triggered me. And this speaks to maybe the essence of the problem they're missing. So Matt Walsh does this 15-minute monologue about how...
Which we'll react to that.
In defense of marriage, not even traditional, just marriage as is, as exists in reality, is created and instituted by God, in defense of marriage. But I see a woman quote tweets the monologue, and she's agreeing with Matt Walsh. And I'm reading the tweet, and the tweet says, this is from a woman, the most alpha male thing that a man can do is to get married to a good woman and stay faithful to her and fight to the gates of hell to stay married to her. And without even seeing who said it, I started to type up my reply. I copied the link. I was going to share it with my friends and say, oh my gosh, another trad person telling us that to be an alpha male, you need to give everything to your wife.
Yeah, nothing more annoying than that, guys. And just so you guys know, here's a big red pill for you. Anytime a woman says a real man, what's going to come after that is something where you have to sacrifice something that benefits you for her and puts you at a disadvantage. Don't forget that, guys.
You must be obedient to your wife. Your world must revolve around your wife. It's another woman telling us what a man should be. It's a woman instructing men. It's a woman claiming to defend traditional morality, claiming to defend Christian morality, but using it in a cynical way, moralizing us to uphold gynocentrism, to uphold women being at the center of social life, women having authority, women being liberated. And I was about to copy it and say, isn't that so typical? A woman wagging her finger and telling men, you want to be an alpha male, this is what an alpha and is going to get married to me and can't leave the marriage. Women have no accountability. Men have to stay married no matter what. And that's what it means to be a man, is to stay married no matter what to your wife, who's perfect. Then I checked the name. Who posted this? Hillary Crowder. Hillary Crowder posted this. For those that don't know, Hillary...
So you guys can see here, he's like winding up. Cause bro, just like me, dude, when I saw her write this, I was like, what? This is like an alley-oop. This is seriously an alley-oop. I remember vividly 2 years ago. Guys, and the reason why I'm so, look, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, Myron, why'd you call her? Why were you so passionate about this? You guys want to know why? I met Steven Crowder. Roughly 2 years ago, I went down to Dallas and I did a collaboration with Steven Crowder and I met his whole team. He's a good guy. His dad is awesome. His team is awesome. He's a good dude, right? We disagree on Israel a little bit, but in general, he's a good guy, right? And this was in the middle of one of the worst times. And I could see that it was weighing on him a little bit. This with his wife and Daily Wire and everything else like that. And in my mind, I'm looking at it like, life is already hard enough as a guy. How dare you, as his wife, the mother of his children, try to destroy his name? If he loses, you lose, you idiot. You can hate him all you want, but do it behind closed doors. Why the fuck are you going to the media and collaborating with his enemies over at the Daily Wire and left-wing media? One of the most pernicious things she did was she gave the Ring camera footage to a reporter named Yashar Ali. Oh yeah, I remember. I reacted to that and I broke it down. I remember analyzing the video footage and looking at the seconds and realizing that they were cutting like this and that, which tells me that she doctored the video before she gave it to the press. That is evil. This is the father of your kids. And I remember hit piece after hit piece after hit piece. Everyone coming after Steven Crowder, trying to destroy him. And she lit the fire. Someone that he confided in, someone that he married, someone that's the mother of his kids, hit him in the most sensitive area she could. And she collaborated with his enemies to do so. Guys, this is the ugly side of marriage. There's a reason why it says, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I was there. I saw not only how Hillary Crowder was stressing Steven Crowder, I saw how it affected his team too. Her stupidity put him and his entire team, who all have families, because he employs a lot of people, in jeopardy. One woman being a clout-chasing piece of that decided to give a Ring camera to some loser reporter on Twitter almost destroyed an entire business and put a bunch of people out of a job. There's real consequences to this. There's real consequences when women do dumb shit like this and they lie and they try to put out some narrative. If you look at that Ring camera footage, it's nothing more than a couple having a typical argument, but she framed it in a way to make it look like he's abusive. That's the day that we live in now, guys. Holding your wife accountable or your counterpart is looked at as abuse. Do you guys see now why I tell you not to get married to these dirty? Anyway, let's keep listening to what Nick got to say.
Hillary Crowder is Steven Crowder's ex-wife, who 2 years ago very publicly divorced Steven Crowder. Now, this was a Christian conservative marriage. Steven Crowder is a Christian conservative broadcaster, a Christian conservative culture warrior. And he found, I'm sure she considers herself a good woman. They got married. And because she didn't like how the marriage was going, she filed for divorce, and Steven Crowder had no say in the matter. She left him. She divorced him. And that wasn't enough. She then dragged his name through the mud in public divorce. All the documents were public. She took Ring camera footage, security of their backyard, and made public.
Okay, let's go. Knows all the facts. Let's go. Nick knows all the facts. All the OGs, you guys remember, I did an episode with Fresh on Fresh and Fit, and we broke down the Ring camera footage. You guys remember that? You guys remember that? Roughly 2 years ago. So Nick knows the juice. Let's go.
A recording of a private fight they had where he was a little bit mean to her.
It was about like walking the dogs, some shit like that. It was like a very argument. Something about walking the dogs or getting groceries or some shit like that. And she didn't want to do what she was supposed to do. Like he told her to do something and she didn't do it. That's what the argument was about, chat. If you guys are wondering. And it went viral on Twitter because this loser, Yashar Ali, published a story. She gave it to him.
He told her, watch it, don't say that, and played it up like he was domestically abusing her, which he wasn't. But even that wasn't enough. She then allied with his former colleagues, his enemies at Daily Wire like Candace Owens.
And just so you guys know, the reason why this is even worse is because at the time, Steven Crowder was having a feud with Daily Wire. Crowder had recorded a phone call between himself and Jeremy Boring. Okay, you guys remember that? I'm bringing this back to you guys. Just to give you guys a little bit more context. There was a big beef going on between Steven and the Daily Wire because they had a discussion on the phone, and Jeremy Boring wanted to bring Steven Crowder over to the Daily Wire, but Steven Crowder said no. And the reason why is because Daily Wire has this contract obligation where if you're on their network, but you're demonetized or you make content that gets taken down, it negatively affects you and you lose money. So Crowder, intelligently so, said, no, I'm not going to do that because now I have to curtail my content to appeal to YouTube, and I don't want to do that. For many of you guys that don't know, like Crowder is fighting with YouTube for years. They've demonetized him. He's gotten strikes for election fraud, for COVID misinformation, which all, by the way, no one gives you strikes for that anymore. You can talk about that shit on YouTube openly. But a couple of years ago, if you talked about the jab or you talked about the election being rigged, yeah, that was an easy way to Banville or getting a strike. So when he had these negotiations with the Daily Wire because they tried to bring him over, basically they gave him a number that he didn't want, and then it was a big number. But his thing was he wanted to be free from big tech censorship. And they tried to make it seem as though he was a money-hungry loser. So he had to put the phone call out, and that led to a big argument between the two. That's what happened, chat. The backstory here. That's why he was enemies with Daily Wire.
And tried to ruin his career. It turned into an all-out on him and his life and him as a man.
Yep.
She made public details about a cosmetic surgery to repair his sunken chest. She made public security camera footage.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he had a yeah, this
from their home, a private discussion, a marital dispute. And then she allied with disgruntled former employees and coworkers to try to paint him not only to be a husband and a horrible, vain person, but also a bad businessman and a hypocrite. This woman, vile,
Yo, he called her a yo. What the bro is using biblical terms on this. I haven't heard that. Yo, I haven't heard that word in years. What?
Camera footage from their home, a private discussion, a marital dispute. And then she allied with
oh man, look at this. Consort with so basically bro, that is funny. Yo, man. That's a medieval, that's like a medieval insult. Calling someone a
disgruntled former employees and coworkers to try to paint him not only to be an abusive husband and a horrible, vain person, but also a bad businessman and a hypocrite. This woman, vile, she is on Twitter telling men this is what it is to be an alpha male. An alpha male never leaves his wife no matter what. An alpha male marries a good Christian woman like me. Respectfully,
yo, this nigga threw an ancient. Yo, what, bro?
Maybe you need to sit this one out. You left your husband. You filed for divorce, a grave sin. Divorce isn't real. Marriage is indissoluble. You destroyed your husband or tried to. She embodies every sin that characterizes the female gender. Gossip, rebellion, disobedience. And she dares to then instruct men and lecture men on what it means to be a man, and in particular about marriage, and tell them you can never leave your wife. Well, what about you? You left your husband. Where's the accountability for you, sweetheart?
Nowhere to be seen. Oh, man. All right. That is funny. All right. We'll get into the Matt Walsh stuff here in a little bit. All right. So I do want to talk about this real quick. Another story.